Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of God Blaze Manchester United. You know what I mean? God Blaze loves Manchester United. And on this episode of God Blaze Manchester United, it is anything United, and basically I'm going to talk about international rights. As the World Cup qualifiers is taking up shape and whatnot, we have a lot of Manchester United players representing their national teams. I mean, at the international level, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also tell a friend to tell a friend as well. Probably really loves Manchester United. And on this episode of Completes Manchester United, as I've said earlier, I'll be talking about our international rates, starting with players in Africa. We have players like Amad Diallo, Onana, Brian Bruno being called out for the nations to represent them at the national level, with Ivory Coast, who named uh, Amad Diallo as part of their international players. I mean, they are already on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup. And I think with Cameroon, they are just a point behind Cape Verde, who, like, who, Cameroon will be facing later in this international break. They will be facing both Bolivia and Cape Verde. Both Cape Verde and, yeah, I may have forgotten, but then we have Cape Verde up next to face in the World Cup qualifiers for the African nation. And I believe Cameroon stands a chance of qualifying for the World Cup and whatnot. Moving from Africa, News was not named in the squad for the Moroccan national team because he is now coming from uh, an injury. He couldn't get much worse after having only a few minutes in the back last weekend against Spain. Okay, and moving to Europe, and there are loads and loads of players who represent Manchester United at the international level as well, with the Slovenian, first ever Slovenian for Manchester United, Benjamin Šeško, who will be playing who will be leading the attack of his nation against Switzerland and Sweden, hoping for a qualification in the World Cup. England, for the first time in a long time, Manchester United players were not named in the squad for England. Portugal will be facing Poland and Lithuania in the World Cup qualifiers, where Ligt was named for Netherlands games in the World Cup qualification, having had 100% record. Winning 2 out of 2 games in the qualification period. Diogo Dalot and Bruno Fernandes were named as players to represent Manchester United at the international level. Patrick Dorgu also had a collab with Denmark, hoping to get some minutes in the bag for the Danish international. Um, Last but not least, the last of all, the South American side, with only Manuel Ugarte representing Uruguay. Representing Manchester United at the international level with Uruguay, where he he would, Uruguay will play in Chile and Peru for their qualification in the World Cup qualifiers, and I believe they are already on the verge of qualifying and whatnot. So let's see what happens there. And also Brazil, they called both Matias Cunha and Casemiro back. Matias Cunha had to withdraw after having had an injury over the last weekend at Manchester United. Also faced Bolivia and Chile in the qualification round in Brazil. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also tell a friend to tell a friend as well. I really loves Manchester United. This ends the international rates for Manchester. For Gabriel loves Manchester United. See you in the next episode.